early. Welcome back to another episode of Early.
Sir.
Appreciate y'all for getting up with us. We got another special guest in the building.
Facts.
Claude Robinson.
What's going on?
Welcome to the show, brother.
Yes, sir, man, the legend.
Yeah, man. No stranger to the show, no stranger to, you know what I'm saying, our platform.
Yeah,
a long time homie. We've done a lot of work together in the past, but it's been a little while since we've seen each other last, bro. So you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, too long.
Might be new to some of y'all. That's too long.
So appreciate you coming through, bro. But before we, you know what I'm saying, jump into the conversation, let us know what you've been up to. For those people who might not know who you are, you know what I'm saying, give us a little quick intro to who you are.
Yeah, man. So again, Claude Robinson. I was saying before, I'm just an ordinary guy that likes to do extraordinary things.
It's facts.
I don't know, man. I live the life of, if I'm gonna title it, a videographer, cinematographer.
Do you have trouble titling yourself or
times,
like saying what you are, like whether it's filmmaker, videographer, cinematographer?
You know what I mean? Because it's just like I try to wear as many hats as possible as far as like my passion projects and try to learn. I mean the fundamentals of filmmaking. I mean, so it's like if I need a light, if I need to do the audio, I need to do the filming, like whatever it is, acting and being in front, behind, whatever it is. I want to know what goes into it so that I can make sure that if one day I'm ever in that position, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Call a space.
Boom, 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 boom. Right. I mean, I know exactly what it is. And lately, for whatever reason, I've just been adamant about acting for whatever reason.
I was gonna say to you, bro, I'm glad you said that because I kind of want to get into that aspect because, you know, anybody that follows you on social media, you do a lot of these like one-man band kind of like, you know, like scenes, productions for sure. But it'll be a scene where you did the shooting, the lighting, everything, and then you're in it acting. You know what I'm saying? And then you definitely do your thing where you have multiple of yourself, clones of yourself, acting different roles, different styles, and everything like that. I mean, and as somebody who understands, like, as a movie buff, even as like myself, I understand that acting is not something you just do. It's something that you gotta like want to do and want to do it in a way that you know makes it look like you're acting. So I've always wondered how you do that, and you're like, how do you prep for your acting scenes? You know what I'm saying?
So random like fun fact. I had to like finish up a few credits for college, whatever it was. So I had to do like elective courses or whatever it was. So at MC, they had like a theater course. They had all these courses you can take, and then for whatever, 3 points, whatever what it was. Right. And I took the theater course basically. It was like the easiest one for me or whatever it was. And I was like, I kind of like film, I like theater, I like acting. I'm gonna take it. So when I took the course, it just ended up being real dope, and I understood the objective of like how to act. They're actually like, teaching you, like not like it's like I don't know how to explain it, but like you act through objective. You're not trying to like act, you're trying to like do. In a sense, you know what I mean? Trying to get that feeling out or whatever it is. So I like really took that to mind because it was like a black professor. Again, he was in theater, he was done all these plays, you know what I mean, done whatever, Broadway, all this stuff. And I took it serious. I mean, like whatever, from learning from a black person.
Facts.
So I took it serious. And then just like again, just like kind of loved the idea of kind of like acting. And again, at that time I was still shooting. Just like doing work for like, projects for business, just like whatever behind the camera. And I always kind of knew one day I was like, man, I've done stuff in the past where people have shot for me. I like been in it, but it's not been as serious as it was right now. And I've always been like, not visual effects friendly, but like I've always wanted to do something where it was like, I'm like just messing with the frame. So there's just cloning came about, and then I kind of like figured out how I can kind of do that with my equipment as far as like setting up each clone, you know what I mean? And then it just took time because like it's just trial and error as far as like, because I remember the first time, a couple of times I did it, like I've done other clone videos that I just haven't put out because like they were just shit. Yeah. And excuse my language, but
bro, say whatever you want. Say whatever the fuck you want.
It's America. But so did other projects and they were like, it just turned out bad. The cloning didn't like fit right or whatever it was. So I learned from it. And then again, I just like try to like adapt each one of like as far as the lighting, as far as the audio, as far as like the performance. Like I'm trying to adapt on each one, better and better. And most of the times I do it in the one space, which is like my parents' like it's like a family
Like a
room.
dining room?
Oh,
yeah, dining room.
I
Yeah.
can't even think of the word. But so I just do it there. I've like done a couple projects there, but I like always wanted to adapt on that space because like shooting a small space is hard.
Mhm,
Right? It's like
mhm.
getting the lighting right, getting like
Right.
the position, composition, whatever.
Right.
It's just hard. So again, trial and error, going through the stuff so that I can like maybe one day utilize it for like projects that maybe we do.
Yeah.
Right,
Or whatever
right,
it is.
Yeah.
Right.
And just kind of adapt off the idea of cloning, man. Because like I got other clone ideas that I want to do, but it's just gonna be hard. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just
That's
timing
why-
wise, it's gonna be hard.
No,
Yeah.
bro. I mean, I think that even just taking the initiative, bro, I have to give kudos because it's like from the outside looking in, because you know a lot of the business, and I definitely want you to get into even like the business that you try to get for yourself. A lot of it's like corporate, or like I know you do a lot of like wedding type of work. I'm like, and not that I couldn't see you on set, but it's not like I'm seeing you on a film set or like doing like the work that the passion project we would consider. It's like you may not necessarily be doing that work for somebody or on another set. So is there like, could you even talk to, I guess, the actual jobs that you go about procuring for yourself? Because I know that I know there's intention behind it, but is it like more so it's like, yo, bro, this is where the dollar's at. So I need to make sure that I can curate, like cultivate this community of like, I guess, clients where it's like, yo, this business is always booming here. Over here might be cool as shit to do, but there's only so much I can do with it right now. So like, how do you go about that?
Yeah, kind of just how you said it. It's just like more or less like it's revenue builders. You know what I mean?
Right.
I try to find things that work as far as what's gonna help me maintain the lifestyle that I'm looking to live. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like weddings is a big one.
What?
100%.
Easy.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, and
What was
more or
the
less-
moment that you even had the aha,
Weddings
or did you,
is
like,
the market.
Yeah. Was
Yeah.
it schooling? Like, did you just know coming into this shit that weddings was it? Or like, when did you know you're like, yo, this is like the lane I need to go? I know people want to do music videos and this, that, and third. With this wedding shit.
Again, like trial and error is like
Right.
more or less like I knew like the network that I guess built up. Like people were already doing weddings that I knew, like photographers, videographers.
And around when? What year is this? Like, did you kind of like getting your feet wet with like?
I say like
wedding?
2017, 2018, maybe.
Okay.
I was like doing like second shooting, apprenticeships,
Okay, coming
mentorships,
on.
learning,
Yeah,
learning
right.
the business.
Right.
Just learning from other people because I knew that where I was I mean it wasn't like limited, but it was just only like as far as I could go by myself.
Yeah,
Right,
for sure.
right.
So I was just like, all right, let me learn from somebody that's already done.
Yeah.
So that I like learned the business, kind of like understood that it was an art form as well as a professional business. You know what I mean, you can have to do 2 and 2 together. And like, yeah, man, I mean, people just put me in the position that I was in now. And I was like, I got to give thanks to them because it was just like, I learned and understood that it was kind of timing, building up my resources as far as like camera equipment, what I needed to like have as far as like gimbals and lenses and whatever. I mean, just to tell the story.
Yeah.
And then again, clientele, just like as far as like people that I've worked with like I've done like editorial shoots, basically like style shoots for like free. Work with other photographers, other vendors, as far as like makeup artists, venues and whatever.
Yeah.
It goes into event planners.
It really is a network of like you really, because you do have situations where if so I have 2 sisters that both planned weddings, or, you know what I'm saying? So you have but you said what? Say that again.
Because I think I remember one of the first, like in 2017 or 2018.
Yeah, I think my
Did you do the
first,
media? Or
no, I didn't. No,
okay.
no, wait. So my sister, one of my sisters had a wedding in Nigeria, traditional wedding, and that I shot. But I was more shooting the trip. So like that was when I was just like shooting everything. You know what I'm saying? So I was more shooting the trip. Bring your microphone a little closer. I feel like it's so far. But I was more shooting the trip and made like a documentary of the trip that just kind of centered around the wedding. But I brought that up because the venues that they check out will have a list of videographers that like they can pick from, or if or the wedding planner that they work with might be like, oh, you know, if you need a wedding videographer, I know one. Because a lot of people who are just like everyday people don't know videographers. They don't know photographers. They don't know. You know what I'm saying? So usually they need a recommendation.
For what did I need that shit?
Yeah, exactly. So they will need a recommendation. So you mentioned about like the knowing the venues, knowing, you know, makeup artists, because makeup artists, they work on a lot of shoots.
As much as they're making me look good, I'm making them look good as well because their work is being showcased
on the joint. Yeah,
it's like all these people are again putting their time and effort and energy into these like again editorial shoots to get their work out there. And so if I'm doing a great job, they're gonna, hey, you mean Claude's gonna do this? I'm gonna be there as well. Let me recommend Claude because I know my work's gonna look
good. Be working with him,
whatever. Under the said people. So again, I just built up like just my network base, people that rely on me, and it's, I guess reliability is one of the key things because like somebody hits you up to do something, you're able to do it.
Yeah,
right? They're gonna just come back every time.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I bet.
So people don't want to have to like think about it. They don't want to. They don't want to start from scratch and like try to figure out. Okay, like, who's gonna shoot this one?
You
know what I'm saying?
You're in a relationship. Long story short, business
Yeah.
relationship basically. And if you're, mesh well and everything works well, it's gonna.
Yeah, you might as well keep it going.
This shit never has to end. This shit can just blossom throughout the years.
Nah,
so, there was that. And then I got to the point where like I'm working with different companies as far as associate shooting is what it's called.
Okay.
And again, they're booked and busy. But they're more as far as like a Hydra. Everybody's got a head as far as what they're gonna work. But I'm the shooter basically, and they need me to help the business grow. You know what I mean? Or shoot, not me, but shooters. To help the business grow. So, once I kind of figured that out from again people that I've apprenticed for and all this other stuff, they were like, "Yeah, man, I'm working for different companies, and there's no editing involved. There's no other. They just book it for you. You get booked, whatever it is." So, found companies that I could do that for. And
is that how you transition into like the food photography and things like that, or is that real estate? Is that the real estate type gigs?
Like food photography is a random story. Like I was in Tyson's this one day. I was at a food court.
So Claude be eating good as shit.
Right?
So he was going like, I'm sure he still be doing all the time, but he was going like a year ago. He was going heavy with
this nigga low key like a food influencer, restaurant reviewer. Restaurant reviewer.
They gave me the whole menu.
Like people don't believe it. They're like, no, they don't. And like literally, like people are like, yo, take this entire thing.
We're not gonna do nothing with it
because after the shoot they'll be like, just take it and eat it. Yeah. Nah, facts.
We don't throw it away.
They've already ate there. They're like, man, we don't eat this every day.
Yeah, facts.
Like, just take it. I like literally walk out sometimes with like big bag.
Oh, we put that shit in a doggy bag.
And then like sometimes I give it away. Or whatever.
You ever like? I was about to say, you ever just like give that food away?
Sometimes because it's like.
It makes sense. Like, you can't eat it all too,
like,
and you got to eat it within a certain amount of time.
Like, sometimes it'll be consecutive days of like, I do food photography, and so it's like consecutive days of just food at the house. I can't.
And I'm not taking more food back home.
Just people on the street, whatever. Cool. Like just give
that's
it
what's up, actually.
But man. Even then, like I wasn't even like aware of what was happening. Like, I'm just shooting food photography.
Right.
It was cool.
In Tyson's, you said you were telling the story about how it started.
So. The start of it. I was in Tyson's at a food court, and I was like taking photos, whatever. For whatever reason, I got comfortable enough to just bring my camera out. You know what I mean? Just like, I'm gonna do this and stand on chairs, and you know what I mean?
I'm weak.
Oh, word. Okay.
So there was a Grubhub rep there, basically, and it was like, hey man, like you ever thought about taking photos, like food photos, whatever? And I was like, I'm like, all right, cool, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
And I didn't think it was serious. You know what I mean? Because you see those commercials, like make $2,000.
Yeah.
Right.
He came up to you on that kind of vibe.
I was just like, all right, yeah, cool. Yeah. So then he like emailed me, got his information, whatever it was. He's like, yeah, man, such and such. We have all these clienteles as far as restaurants within the area, blah, blah, blah. If you want to like shoot for them, whatever it was. So I started doing the first couple of ones. It was cool, nice gig, like decent pay. And then he was like, yeah, man, I'm going to open you up to like Grubhub, Uber Eats, DoorDash.
Oh, yeah.
And then
all these motherfuckers need
it was just
joints.
like every day, bro. Like it was like every day I had like 3 or 4 shoots of like food photography, and
also, I feel like that was also eating good.
Yeah.
I also feel like, if I remember it correctly, because I did start to see that moment on your social where that was like becoming like a thing.
Yeah.
It was in the pandemic ish.
Yeah, man.
When that's when those food apps went start, because a lot of restaurants went to strictly DoorDash, Grubhub.
I want to say it was like 2019, end of 2019, going into 2020, like during the pandemic, it was like booming because. I thought it was gonna slow down, and then again, like pandemic happened, everyone's doing delivery.
Yeah,
so then everyone's
and
like,
we need photos to market their shit.
It was like every day I had like 4 shoots.
I'm not gonna lie. It also, because now it even makes sense too. It seemed like, and let me know too, like even the traffic. Like, what's the time? Like, it didn't seem like it was mad business happening, right? Like these stores were closed down, or like you're just in a designated spot of the restaurant. At the beginning
of the pandemic, dog, there's nobody on the road.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So you just boom.
I was going to shoots, like, and there was nobody on the road. And it was like cool, and again, I would get free food because they couldn't give it out. You know what I mean? It was just like, I mean, it's been sitting out. So they're like, all right, man, you can have it. And most of the times they're like, man, you can touch it, whatever it is, like it's yours. I'm like, all right, man, I'm sitting here eating chicken wings.
Yo.
Right.
Like,
If you need to move the chicken tender, go ahead and move it.
And that's what it was. And like,
it's your tender.
yeah, man, it was nice. And like,
might eat a fry and shit like that.
I didn't realize, like,
taking a picture, taking a picture, picking at it.
Right.
I didn't realize like the flexibility I had and freedom of like. I mean, after a while, like I'm cool in a relationship now, and like I'll start bringing my girl with me.
Right.
I'm weak.
That shit
A little date. Turn into a little date.
We about to eat good together.
Like,
I need
like,
yo fat.
chicken, like it was a full chicken, like because like there's this one company called Easy Catering. I think they're like brand new as far as like delivery service that go to like corporate places that order like catering, whatever. So I would like do those jobs and like there'll be like whole chickens and like all big baskets of food, or whatever. And they're like, we can't do nothing.
Yeah.
I'm talking about big wings. Like, I'm just taking home buckets of chicken. Like,
I'm weak, bro.
It was nice.
So not paying for food at this time.
No.
Literally, you don't need to pay for food.
I feel like
that's literally like 10% of your expenses, like gone.
I
You know what
didn't
I'm
pay
saying?
for food.
Like,
Like,
you don't gotta pay for
I'm telling
food.
you,
Yeah,
nothing. Like,
Yeah.
a good gear.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying for no food. Like,
That's crazy.
yeah, not once. Like, no.
That's
I know
crazy.
Beck thinking about that like, yo.
I spend like
I need a lot,
$30
get
on
some
food every day.
Yeah,
You
right.
know what I'm saying?
Like,
Because I
bro,
eat
it's
out like
ridiculous.
every
Just
day.
to eat by yourself.
Yeah.
To be full.
Yeah.
Right? Oh my god.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
if you're not on, like, a
dope.
meal plan.
Yeah, that's
Right.
fly. That's fly.
That's real.
So what would be your favorite medium to work in right now? Like, because we've talked about, even in this short amount of time, we talked about like different arenas that you're in, with the weddings, with the food, with the more creative things. We've seen you do, anybody that follows your socials, we see you do a lot of like brand work. Like you'll do like those like the Coke commercials and like the Jack Daniels joints. And those little mock-up commercials be fire. You know what I'm saying?
Trying to like get back
100%.
more into those things.
But I'm saying, like, what's your favorite joint, or what's your favorite right now? Even, you know what I mean? Like, if it sometimes these
Like,
things
when
go
you
in
finish it,
phases.
like, ooh, I killed that.
Yeah,
Like,
Surprisingly,
crazy.
is weddings right now,
Yeah.
because it's just like the art form. I mean, like, you only get one chance. I mean,
To do
really
it.
That
only
shit's
get
happening in
one
real
chance.
time.
Yeah, it's like really just one time.
Yeah.
And of course, some people are like,
Right,
"Oh, can we
right.
do it again?" But I'm not that guy where it's like, I don't try to interrupt someone's day.
Yeah.
It's a wedding.
Right.
You
I was
know?
gonna say, I've been on weddings.
Catching it.
I've been on weddings where I've seen like they set up a lot of the
shots,
things. You know what I'm saying? Some things, obviously it's a setup, but from what I'm hearing, like how would you say, like what percentage would you say of your things are set up throughout the day versus just like you catching natural shit?
I mean, they're like the only portion of the day that I would say is like setup or stage is like the couple portraits. So if they do like a sunset portrait,
Yeah.
then I'll stage
Off to the
shots.
side.
At
Yeah,
that point.
of
I mean,
course.
let's walk here, hold hands, whatever. I'll stage shots of those moments. But anything else is kind of like candid, and it's like cool. If we're doing like a first look per se, like when the groom's gonna see the bride for the first time, cool. We'll position him so that it looks
good. Yeah.
But like we want the natural emotion, raw, everything that's gonna happen. I want to capture the audio, everything, because it's like I want that natural moment so you guys can remember it. But like, cool. If I want to make it look beautiful, I would wait till the sunset settings so that I can get, what I'm looking for.
Right.
Versus like again, throughout the day I've worked with people and again, everyone's great.
Yeah.
Right.
And everyone has a different art form, so I'm not trying to knock anything. But like, I'm not trying to interrupt the day thinking that I have this ego of like,
You're the star of the day. You're the star of the Get out of my way, people.
Move, you know what I mean?
It's
It's
not my
like,
day, right,
yeah,
right.
it's like, it's not. You guys
Have the bridesmaids holding lights and shit, like
for years. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, man, like, yeah. It's
And I've
just,
definitely seen like your reels where not even like you actually have like a video where you show the progress like from the 2018 to 2023, like how the weddings are
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, bro.
Or how the
it's like,
relationship has
bro,
progressed
it's like
and shit.
more attention to detail with the storytelling aspect of it all. Like, and that shit is really, I think that shit really dope too, because sometimes people visually have to see like how when you stay down at a craft, it's like, yo, bro, there's always like in 2018, y'all was saying it was a beautiful product, but maybe myself, I'm like, no, this
It can be better.
we can
Yeah.
push this. This is push it. And now, even I'm sure you still have that feeling. In 5 years, what is it gonna be?
Yeah.
And I guess that even leads me to the next question too, because I view you as somebody as creative as you are. It's like you're also very technical, and like you don't. I guess you don't cheat the process of understanding what it is that I'm working with and knowing the how-tos and the fundamentals, right? And What's one of your favorite cameras? You have a lot of equipment. Like, is there one joint that you are like, yo, this is my most versatile, or maybe it's not the versatile joints like just, bro, when it comes to this shit, I love shooting with this bitch.
I mean, I can go down the rabbit hole as far as cameras, but my favorite camera, of course, hands down, is the Black Magic line.
Word.
Okay. So I just recently picked up the 6K full frame.
Okay.
Only had it a couple of days so far, but it's probably right now like my favorite camera. Okay. And I've worked on different camera lines, and I really liked the Panasonic GH series.
Word.
Like, that's phenomenal camera. You know what I mean? Yeah. Again, when I used to like apprentice under another videographer, cinematographer, whatever you want to title him,
right?
Wedding videographer. He was using the GH series, so I learned like manual focus, kind of like learn how to like stabilize everything, whatever it was at the time when I was doing that. Even though I had Sony,
right?
But that was what he was working on, so I kind of had to follow what he was doing. You know what I mean,
facts.
So kind of understanding like focal plane and like different things that you kind of like don't think of at the time that are fundamentals to filmmaking. You know what I mean, kind of helped me project myself, transition myself to the Black Magic cameras, because it's all full manual. I mean,
right.
And I like that aspect because I have full control of what's gonna happen, what's gonna actually go into the image,
as opposed to be like, this shit does this on auto. I have to
pretty much. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm not gonna say it's a true cinema camera, because I mean there's speculation as far as like readout, as far as like the global rolling shutter. And all these other factors or whatever it is. But like, as far as the work that I'm looking to produce, it can help me with what I'm trying to look for. I mean, of course, I would love an Ari, Alexa Mini, or whatever.
Right.
But I ain't got $75,000.
Yeah.
On a body.
Yeah.
I mean, no battery, no memory card, no nothing. 100%. So it's like, yeah, man. I mean, Black Magic cameras alone right now. Again, you can get the Ursas, the pockets, the full frame, whatever it is. But those cameras, if you're looking to produce a cinematic quality image,
is that the camera? I'm assuming that might not be the same camera that you would recommend somebody wanting to get their feet wet with this shit. Wanting to boom, I'm just boom. I'm coming into this space. I'm getting a lot of inquiries for.
If you're just starting off, I feel like you would get frustrated using a Black Magic camera, because you got to be really technically sound to use them joints.
I would say that would be the next camera I would pick up if I'm gonna go for a camera to learn videography only.
Right.
It'd be either the FX3 or the FX30. You know what I mean? Okay. So the FX30 is APS-C, FX3 is full frame, right? And it just has everything you need to be a shooter. You know what I mean? Autofocus, stabilization, dynamic range, low light. You know what I mean? Performance, everything you need.
Yeah.
You know? And Sony makes it great. I mean, great image, even though it's a little digital, whatever, cool. Interchangeable lenses that you can transition up if you use the APS-C to the full frame, whatever. So I would go either Sony if I'm going to be like very new to the videography world.
Right.
A7F3 is always great. A7 IV is always great if you're going to be a hybrid shooter. A7 IV I always recommend, because if you're a hybrid shooter, photographer, and videographer, bro, it does everything, bro.
Does everything.
And like
that A7S3 too is definitely all reliable for sure.
But yeah, man, I mean, again, people can recommend Canon and Nikon and all these other cameras, and nowadays, like, cameras are so good that it just doesn't even.
It really don't.
You see such a beautiful product
from a capturing standpoint. You can do so many things with so many different cameras. You know what I'm saying? And I would even say that every different kind of style has its own aesthetic and reason for doing it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people don't want the super refined look. You know what I'm saying? So that joint you was walking around with the fuck at your event. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a whole style. You know what I'm saying? Like, like that's a whole style. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like like the actual camera, as far as like if you want to storytell, don't really matter. But if you are going for a certain look, you know what I'm saying? Which you can tell with your shit, like you're always trying to hit a certain look. And it even kind of plays in the scene itself. Like I remember you had one joint where you were kind of like laying on a bed and you can kind of see like the lines from the blinds. You know what I'm saying? And like you lit that joint yourself, didn't you? Yeah, like things like that are kind of crazy, but you can really only achieve that because that joint looked crisp. I mean, all your videos be looking like crispy. I think that's your thing. But it's because you've gotten the technical side down, and you've gotten like you got that equipment. You know what I'm saying?
Literally, I'm not gonna lie to you. There was 1 year I spent the entire year, bro, January 1st to January 1st, right? Just learning about lighting. Yeah. Literally just learning about lighting. Like nothing else. Wasn't focused on anything else. And like that was why I do the lighting workshops now, because it was just like I want to use this knowledge that I've took a year on 365 days to learn. So it's like now I want to try to apply it. And it's like now I'm on acting. I mean, I want to learn how to movie wise or like film wise, TV show wise, I'll watch anything. It doesn't really matter. Chick flicks or you know what I mean, like action, you know what I mean, whatever. Because it's just like I want to figure out what's within this project that pulled that emotion out of someone. I mean, me and my lady were watching I don't know if you've seen it on Netflix, like this show called From Scratch, right?
Okay, I've heard of it.
Not spoiler alert, but the guy dies in the end. You know what I mean? Or whatever it is. At the end of the joint, my lady bawling her eyes out. And at the beginning of the series, she's like, "You're gonna cry. You're gonna be so sad." And I'm thinking in my head, like, I'm not gonna be sad. But like, I'm talking about she's watched it 3 times. She cries every time. And I'm like, what is it in this show that brings it out?
It's a formula for sure. It's a formula for sure.
Like, how can I bring that emotion out of somebody? How can I make somebody cry or fearful?
You ever read this book called Save the Cat?
Yeah, I think we were talking about that last
Were
time.
we?
I got it from after that.
You said what?
Is this a filmmaking book?
Yeah. So it's basically the premise of the book is it says basically that all films follow like one of 7 storylines. Like there's only like really like 7 different kinds of film, and every single film you can think of falls within the 7. And it kind of gives the outline of each joint and how just kind of like how you structure a story, how a story seems to be structured to kind of invoke in all these emotions. You know what I'm saying? And that goes from like blockbusters like Transformers to like rom-coms and chick flicks and shit like that. And that book is like so interesting to me. You know what I mean?
After we talked last time, I picked it up.
Word. Okay, bet. So the first time you hadn't heard about it, but you've looked into. So what do you? That was good to get like an analysis. Like, what do you think?
So I didn't read the whole entire thing, but it does help you, man, because it's again like the formula is right there, and you're like again like you don't even realize it. Where it was like I remember this one part. It was talking about it was like Star Wars or something like that, and then in Star Wars like connected to another film, and you were just like looking at the format. I was like, damn, bro. I was like, this is kind of true. All movies. Like
the one that kind of like got me was that it was saying how in hero movies you always gotta not even in hero movies, but in movies where there is like any kind of main character, any protagonist, you have to kind of start the movie in a way where you want them to win throughout the rest of the movie, right? And he was talking about how this is even true if the hero is technically a villain. You know what I'm saying? So think like American Gangster, think Joker. And I remember watching Joker for the first time. And we all know the story of the Joker from Batman. Like he's a bad guy, he's a villain, right? But the way they started that movie where he gets jumped by those kids just for being a little different. The rest of the movie is like whatever he does, you understand where he's coming from. You know what I'm saying? When he blows up or when he shoots Robert De Niro, like you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh well, he's been fucked with his whole life. I feel for him. You're sympathetic.
It's crazy because like that's one of my favorite scenes in the joint too. Yeah, it's like he's just like going off, and everyone's like, no, and you like sit there, and he's like.
I don't know, crazy. I understand why he did that. He's like he's tired of motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? But like that after watching, because I was reading that book around the time that movie came out. After I watched that movie, I was like, yo, this movie literally did that. And I remember seeing that scene, and before the movie even went on, I was like, I know why they did that. They had to make you feel bad for him. You know what I'm saying? But nah, man, storytelling in general is just something that I'm super but when you, I guess something that I wonder in your case, when you're doing these short joints that are like, a minute long for the sake of, social media posts, do you think about structuring a story within that quick time frame?
Yeah, sometimes I do. Like, I remember I try to do this like, Thriller recently. I was like in my kitchen, and really it was only like a low light test on the Black Magic, right? And then after I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put together a story.
Yeah.
And then like it was like midnight, and I started doing the first couple of scenes, and then like after a while it just drags on where you're just like, I don't even know where I'm going with it.
Yeah.
And you just try to quickly end it.
Yeah, no, facts.
I'm gonna close the door. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that was it. You know what I mean?
Nah, facts.
But yeah, man, I just try to like kind of, and then I guess it's good practice because like I guess nobody realizes but me, and I'm just like hard on myself. I'm like, oh, this is shit, and then I put it out. And everyone's like, oh man, that was cool, bro. Like, you closed the door.
Yeah,
like,
not facts.
Yeah.
Like,
that's exactly what I was going for.
Yeah, I did.
Not facts.
You know, and I'm not like even to what you had said too. I think the one thing that kind of got me in awe of, I feel like filmmaking in general, is the fact that you can choose the emotion that you're trying to invoke on the audience. And like if you hit, it's really probably like a, oh my gosh, like it really like, imagine somebody trying to do a horror film, yet people are laughing. You must feel like, fuck.
They'd be like, that's the funniest movie I ever seen. They'd be like, that's not what you think you failed. You made a great comedy, horrible horror movie.
Shit, you know, like people laughing like, yo, what the fuck?
Not facts.
But what's the genre that you would like, if you could have the time, boom, of the funding and everything like that, you could choose the genre in which you would direct a project.
Oh yeah, facts.
Right?
Like,
whether that be a series or whether that be a film. What genre would it be? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, bro, this is what I want them to do.
It would either be, if I'm gonna start, the first answer would be, it would either be thriller or horror.
Okay. That's on brand. That's on brand.
Mm.
We didn't do that this year, but usually around this time, Claude will definitely sometimes
we'll do like a Halloween kind of vibe, Halloween
spooky
short
shit,
or something.
And like I had so many ideas, so it's just more or less timing. And I still kind of want to implement them, even though Halloween's over.
Yeah, that's fact. Because
bro, I mean, you just turn it into a horror. You take the Halloween out of it.
Right.
Dog, have y'all seen this Thanksgiving movie that they're making? That's like a horror film. You seen this shit? It's like a Thanksgiving horror film. You ever seen this? You ever seen the previews for it? Damn, it's like coming out. It's like on TV. I saw it during the game last night.
Yeah,
they were showing
little
this
Nightmare Before Christmas skit.
Hey, there you go. That's actually a great question though. What kind of genre would you make, bro? If you were to like make something or write something even or like whatever.
You know, if I want to think about what's the most feasible in terms of, and I think I could put something great. I think I could do a great drama.
Yeah.
But at my heart of hearts, what I would love to do, I would love to do a comedy.
Yeah.
But I also feel as if that's probably maybe a taller task. Just because I'm like, yo,
it's hard to make
somebody
laugh.
Even laughs can be formulaic, I think. I mean, look at any comedian. Every comedian has kind of figured out the formula to get a laugh. But I do feel like if you don't know that formula, it can kind of be hard.
And
but I don't know.
I feel like with comedy also, and not to even undermine the level of writing you need for all other genres, but with comedy, I feel like writing something to be funny is very important as opposed to relying on, oh, you're a funny person,
people
or you're
funny actors.
No. If you have a story, a plot, or anything, you need to also give them the dialogue to bring it to life. And again, obviously, with all genres the same, but I think with I need a laugh. All this other shit can be felt internally.
Yeah,
comedy is funny, really, or at least a bare minimum, you smiling on your face watching this shit.
It's funny that you say it like that because I feel like you're absolutely right. People, when you're writing a comedic film, it's definitely got to be in the writing. But something that I've noticed is that some of the best actors kill it in comedies. Literally kill it. Like Cuz from Ozark, Jason Bateman, he's getting his like real acclaim for being like a serious dramatic actor these days. But some of his early, like Arrested Development, like, that was my shit. With some of the funniest shit, you know what I'm saying?
You get dry humor too.
Yeah, 100%.
Which kind of works.
Be funny. It's hilarious.
But I feel like that's because he's a great actor. Steve Carell, even I don't know if y'all seen like some of the dramatic shit that Steve Carell has done, like in his later in his career. But Steve Carell, hilarious, like from The Office and all that type of shit, 40-Year-Old Virgin, all that type of shit. But as a dramatic actor, he's fucking phenomenal.
Right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
Jim Carrey, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? He became phenomenal at that
Right.
towards the latter of his career. So it's very interesting how I've just kind of peeped that some of like these great dramatic actors started off in comedy or like did a lot of like early comedic roles.
Yeah.
I think I would definitely do like drama.
You-
I would do a dramedy, honestly.
You know
like
what's
me,
so
I,
funny?
to me, comedy and then drama is like the two that I would focus
I
on.
feel like
or wanna do.
a lot of those actors excel because they're literally honing in on the aspect of like sometimes my funny is based off the fact that people just think what I say is funny.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I feel like there's a lot of funny people that are like, bro, I'm not being funny, but
Yeah.
it's just hilarious. So now it's kind of like if I'm holding that into a serious role, it's like, yo, bro, I don't be trying to be funny.
Yeah.
It's just my diet. Like, for instance, I'm trying to even
Like
view.
Kevin Hart, kind of in a sense.
I
No,
think Kevin Hart is one of the
funny.
person
Kevin
that's
Hart is,
trying,
like,
to, be funny. Like he's
Okay.
trying to be funny. I'm trying to think of an example where like somebody where it's just like they're more conversation, like a Louis C.K.
Yeah.
Like
Okay,
I'm not
okay,
like
okay.
I'm not like
But I feel like Louis C.K. is one of these guys that
like you're
he's a
laughing at the shit
comedian.
I'm telling you. I'm not like
But also, I feel like because he's a comedian, he says it in a way that you're
Like a
going
dry
to laugh.
sense,
Like he's not, well, not even in a dry way, but it's like in a way where he knows he's gonna get a laugh. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Like you know the result you're gonna get
Yeah.
from people. But I'm not like even my demeanor. I'm not some happy guy just trying to get a laugh at
Yeah.
you. It's just I'm telling you about my experiences in the way that I could tell you about how I went through something.
Mhm.
You're just bawling, laughing type of shit. And I feel like, and now we get into the nuances and things like that. But I just feel like there's a lot of cadences with how somebody can give it up type shit.
Yeah,
in terms
yeah.
of, like when it comes to funny.
No, fact. Delivery is definitely like important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We kind of got into a little bit about like what you're watching these days. Well, you said you're watching what from scratch,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What are some other things that you've really resonated towards these days?
Again, I mean, I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
big
do you watch a lot of shit? Like
I wouldn't
or
say
do you
like there's
kinda try
anything
to-
specific.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I just like watch for, again, either fundamentals of like how things would go about.
You watch to
storytelling-wise.
learn. You don't watch for
Yeah.
entertainment.
Again, I go
No,
back to my,
honestly, I can't watch a movie without
No,
dissecting what's going on.
like, my
Honestly,
lady hates it. Bro.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like,
Right.
so you
how's the
be
lighting?
talking out loud while you're doing that
it's
shit.
like-
Yeah, I be in
like,
my
oh, the
head
lighting's,
like
weird. Like, oh, they shot
Yeah.
it the wrong side. I'm like, I'm sitting there, and she's like, shut the. Fuck up.
yeah,
Like,
or I be
shut
noticing
up.
things that I notice all the time
Yeah.
now is like inconsistency between cuts. Like
Yeah.
sometimes if it's like
His
a
hands
dialogue,
there or whatever,
yeah, or it's like or if it's like a
right.
dialogue and somebody looks like you know, say I'm facing you, so the
Yeah.
camera's behind me, you see the
Yeah,
back
yeah.
of my head,
And
but
then
it looks
the
like
other way.
I'm
Yeah.
saying something even though like I'm not supposed to be saying
I know
something. You know what I'm saying?
exactly-
It's
yeah, I know
like
exactly
a bad
what
use
you're
of
talking
the
about.
footage.
Yeah, like the B-roll.
Yeah, yeah,
The other
yeah.
person with the other guys going like
Yeah.
this.
Right.
I be noticing little bullshit like that all the time.
Well, the editor is like, oh,
This is all we got. He said we can't bring everybody back to reshoot this. No. Nah, this is what I gotta use. This is what I gotta use. That shit's funny. Brooke, what are you watching these days? I feel like you always got something that you're watching.
What am I? Yo, hold on. Billion series finale just finished.
Oh, yeah.
You put me onto that.
Yeah, nah, Brooke is always talking about Billions.
Are you okay? Word. Are you up to
Nah,
okay?
I just
Word.
recently
but
just started.
started.
Yeah.
Yo. So, yeah. It's so good. It's over now. Definitely gonna run it back. Like gladly gonna start that shit over. Amazing show. Another show that I have in wrote. I could say a show about a star I've been hearing a lot. Yellowstone.
Oh yeah, I've been hearing a lot
Hearing
about
a
Yellowstone.
lot of good things on Apple TV and Apple TV.
Ain't that joint on like CBS?
I think it's Apple.
Yeah,
Apple.
but I'm saying like, don't they
Oh,
show it on
I'm
CBS
not
as
sure.
well?
I'm
They be
not-
showing.
I'm not-
I be seeing on
not sure.
Paramount maybe
Paramount.
because
It's on Paramount. It's on Paramount.
yeah,
It's
I
on
be seeing
Paramount.
like
Yeah.
they'll like on during football games they'll be like
Word,
new
they'll say
episode
that.
of Yellowstone tonight. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like
so
shit like that.
I
I be like,
recommend
I didn't know
that.
this shit. I thought that shit was like on like Apple or something.
Yeah,
like that,
I'm definitely gonna watch that.
Too many damn streaming services.
Yeah,
So
it's
many
a lot.
of
It's
them.
a streaming
So
wars.
many of
We're in the
them.
middle of the.
Do y'all like think there's one that's doing it better than others? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think the best
yeah.
way that you could, it's always just gonna be about the quality of the
yeah,
content.
but you know what I mean in the sense that like we can be like,
Content,
oh, A24. I mean, I'm a big A24 fan. Like
Yeah.
A24,
Right.
it's like everything that they do kind of
But
has
that's
this
like a
kind of
production
vibe.
house. You-
No,
you
yeah,
do
yeah,
that
yeah.
as opposed- are
But do you
comparing it with the
but do you
streaming, or-
don't feel like some of the streaming platforms have their kind of imprint on? For example, you know what I'm saying? Netflix produces a lot of movies and comedy specials and shit like that. What's the joint? Like Peacock is starting to produce a lot of their own joints. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't feel like there's a streaming platform that is kind of
Amazon Prime got some haters too.
Really?
That's one of the joints I don't got the logins. I need to get
if you got a Amazon login you can spare, send it Brooks' way.
Yo, but it's funny.
Shit, my way too. I need to watch the Thursday night football games. Just drop it in the comment section.
I will say, well, the premium channels I feel like that have been consistent to this day have been what's now called Max.
Yeah, so like HBO. HBO.
And Showtime anytime. Like I think Showtime also is like.
But the reason I brought that up, I feel like Apple TV is really like they're coming out with some crazy content. Like I'm really loving Apple TV.
With that said, right, I say the Max and the Showtime because of literally the consistency.
Yeah, it's from the 90s.
We're not falling off. But to your point, like I said, every series I've watched on Apple, I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
The one with Seth Rogen.
Platonic.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
This fucking Severance.
Yeah. My joint is the morning show. The morning show. Yeah.
I'm 3 for 3.
Check out Apple, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I was asleep on Apple. I watched Ted Lasso, but that was probably the only thing that I watched just because it was recommended to me. And I was like, oh, this is a good show. But another one of those things when we were talking about things that can just like tear jerk you, bro. Like Ted Lasso will have you in your fucking feels for no reason. Kind of like how motherfuckers used to say This Is Us, but This Is Us will make you cry. Ted Lasso will make you feel like good. It's like one of these like, oh my, it's like super uplifting, bro. And even when you have moments, sometimes it's like you want to cry tears of joy sometimes, bro. I don't know what they're doing.
Bro.
It's like, we won.
I'm trying to tell you, I know some
you go, guys. Like,
I know
it's
some
crazy.
pretty like so I know some like, you know, emotionally dense individuals that have watched Ted Lasso and have been like, yo, this is a good show. And I was
you said emotionally dense.
Yo.
It's making us open them up. Motherfuckers opening up.
Like just also people I was genuinely like, you fuck with it. They're like, that's just solid show. I was like, that's it. I would definitely recommend it just because it's one of those passive watches. You can run it in the background of whatever you're doing type shit. Just tune in and just watch and just be like, yo, like easy storyline and get with it. Really dope show. But I think to be honest, even if we talk about series as opposed to movies and shit like that, it's really a renaissance with these series on all the platforms across the board. Because I've literally noticed how less I've watched movies over the years as opposed to years that, for instance, if I want to think about the last 10 years. Yeah. I definitely in the first 5 years watched way more movies than
I think
the
I
first
agree
5.
With that. Yeah.
As opposed to the last 5. Yeah. Oh my! I have to. If you ask me movies I've watched, I gotta think. What are the movies I have watched? Series. I give you lists of series. I can't really give you lists of movies anymore. It's kind of like highlight joints, the ones I was told I need to watch, as opposed to like actually going into the crevices and watching movies. Yeah. I'd much rather find, and I think that's because I love the character development and the way that a plot can unfurl in a series. They let you sit with this universe, whereas opposed to a movie is like, we got a grand slam. We got to get you in this 2 hours. We got to make you be like, yo, I want a sequel. I want another joint.
Yeah, like, no, I can fuck with that though. I fuck with how
I just notice it. In terms of how I consume.
Yeah. Nah, I agree with you in the sense that I think I've watched more series than movies lately. But I don't know. I also have a habit of watching shit that I've already watched and kind of like reappreciating it. Like I literally just binged watched Entourage all over again for whatever the fuck reason. You know what I'm saying? But nah, there's definitely something to the whole like series things. But I don't know, me, like I like something that ends after 2-3 hours. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's hard for me to commit, 8 hours over, you know what I'm saying, 7 episodes or over 8 episodes to, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes that's hard for me.
But do you feel as if like even though they might have all the episodes, you can still have it on some, I'm gonna watch once a week. Why do I have to have it?
I can't do that. I can't do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but what I'll do?
Like the commitment is I have. To push play. I gotta.
What it is. Yeah, like it's like I'll watch it until I fall asleep, and then like I watch it until like I don't anymore, and then I try to pick up where I left off. And I mean, I'm able to do it. I'm just saying that I would prefer. When I'm watching something, I would prefer it to be. I mean, I guess it's really 100% depends on how the story's being told. What story is being told.
So I got a question for both of you. Does it like if somebody recommends a series, do you guys care if it just came out or if it's like mad seasons in? I know a lot of people be like, how many seasons are out? Like, 6 seasons, they'll be like, it
not catching up.
I mean, like, bro, it means it's ready for you. It passed me. I'm weak. And then like
I missed it.
Yeah, and if I'd say like, yo, no, it's the first season, I'm like, oh, I bet I'm gonna check it out. They want to like be socially. I want to be on cue with everybody.
You want to be, you want to
Snowfall. You feel me? Like everybody want to be like, yo, bro, you see what happened, Frank?
And what's crazy? And what's crazy is with Snowfall specifically, I feel like the people that did catch on in like season 5, season 6, like they really have a hard time starting from season 1 and get like they want. It's like they want to be. It's like they want to be in season 6 so bad. Because to me, I feel like the story develops beautifully. You know what I'm saying? Like, did you watch Snowfall?
No,
okay. So I feel like the story for Snowfall develops beautifully. Like to me, I haven't given it a rewatch yet, but honestly, I probably should because I remember watching it in real time.
The first
season 1,
raw as fuck.
And I remember enjoying it. I remember as hooked as I was in season 6 or season 7, whatever the last season was, as hooked as I was back then, or in that one, I was that hooked in season 1. I was like, I cannot wait for the next episode to come back on, or for the next episode to premiere. You know what I'm saying? So I remember kind of feeling like that. So to me, when people will be like, oh, it starts off so slow, I'm like, you only feel that way because you hear everybody talking about season 6 and you want to be at season 6 like so bad. You know what I'm saying?
Like if it's a part of the culture, like, right? Like you said, like if everyone's in season 6, then people don't want to get involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, me personally, it just depends on the project. I mean, again, if it's a great story, like if somebody introduced me to Snowfall and I watched the first season, I'm like, yeah, I'm hooked.
I
mean,
100%.
But some people can't like get into things like Game of Thrones.
I was literally about to say that's Game of Thrones for me. That's probably the thing that everybody's on it and people want me to go back. I'm just like, but also too, I've never really been into those kind of stories, like those medieval kind of things. I just don't really have an affinity for. And I'll just say to finish that off is that like everybody will tell me, well, it's bigger than that. It's not about that. And I'm like, I don't care. Like I don't like, you know what I'm saying? Like motherfuckers just saying, hear ye. Like it don't. I don't hear it.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Even though like you may not be somebody that watches like medieval stuff, bro. If you get into Game of Thrones, bro, it's just
that's what I'm saying. Like I hear that all the time.
And
you know,
and I'm not gonna, because you know I'm also another like GOT junkie.
Yeah,
but like I just more so. I say it just not even for Game of Thrones, but for all types of content where you'd be like, oh, that's not necessarily
my style.
Genre.
Yeah.
I'd be like, well, I feel like what is universal is everybody loves great storytelling.
Yeah.
Like great story. Like that's the one thing you'd be like, okay, like if there's something I could latch onto this and then watch how it unfurls, then that's when I'll bring like a Game of Thrones. I'm like, the way it unfurls is just kind of like, oh my God. Like I remember, bro, this is how I watched Game of Thrones. Cause to be honest, I was literally in your boat. I'm gonna tell you, I was on LSD and I was in my crib and I was like, Entourage, I watched I was literally Entourage. I finished every, like, I'm up to date. Did that. I was like, this Game of Thrones shit happened to be on, like on TV Guide. Not no on-demand shit, just it was on the TV. It's like, Game of Thrones, what the fuck is this? I didn't even hear about the hype. This is this is like what, 2012, 2013, 2014. It was like season 4.
Yeah.
Just put this shit on. And I'm like, oh man. Like I'm looking at the timeline. I'm like, oh man. Like when you see the clothes and shit, like, okay, we're in some medieval land, whatever. I'm just watching this shit. And I can't even recall, like, I'm not even going to say anything that happens, bro. Like, I can't necessarily recall it. But some shit that happened where I was just like, oh, like, that was his man's. Like, you just did that.
Yeah.
Damn, you just killed his man. Like, I was like, oh, that was deep. Like, I see the moment, like, oh, that was deep.
Bro, after the first season, bro, after you watch the first season, bro, you're hooked.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you.
Let me tell you, this is
literally
bro.
hooked, bro. I'm
This
telling
is
you,
the thing. I didn't even.
impossible.
I came. Look,
Impossible.
I came in the third. I came in like third, fourth season, and there was probably 5 seasons to date. I watched right there. I like right that episode where I was like, oh my god. I just watched. I said, let me go on demand and watch. Let me catch up to date. And then as soon as like season 5 ended, I'm like, bam, up to date. I said, we're going to season 1 and we're about to do this again. And like when I
so you watched, you started from the middle of season 5, finished season 5, and then went to start over.
So season 5 is ongoing. It's on TV. I just get hip to this. Probably I'm watching an episode from like season 4 type shit.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh shit, this is crazy. So like from there all the way to where it's at season 5, I watch all of that shit. I'm like,
and then you start over.
And then I'm like, season 5 is like the season 5 ends. Yeah. As soon as that shit ends, I'm like, oh, we're going to number. I was like, oh, I was like, because bro, it was too much. I was kind of amazed at a show the way it got me hooked, and at the same time, I said, bro, I don't even know what the fuck went on. Why they're talking about beefs and shit that's playing out in front of me, but I'm like, no. How'd y'all get here?
Yeah,
it was all good. You're telling me shit was sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to go back.
The build up is crazy.
Yeah. And then when you go back at the Game of Thrones, you're realizing that because there's a whole book series that this was based on. Yeah. This shit was based really 100 years before for the first series, and now that's the. I'm sure you might have been aware of the new Game of Thrones.
The new Game of Thrones. That's like thousands of years before or after.
Not even that. Probably like about like 400 years prior to where we know it to be type shit. And I was you watched the recent Game of Thrones, right?
What's that? House of Dragons.
House of Dragons.
No, I haven't. You
haven't watched it yet? Okay, bro. So one thing I'm gonna just say, I'm not gonna spoil it for you because I know you'll probably when you make time you'll peep that. I was surprised at how they reeled me back. I thought I wouldn't give a fuck about a story that now you're showing me something to the 7 seasons I just watched. And I couldn't believe that after the first episode, I was like, damn, I kind of want to know how the fuck this shit came about. And I think that's just something, the magic about even filmmaking. Like, if you could sell a story, it's kind of like,
those motherfucking, bro, those fucking writing rooms, bro. Like some of these shows that go on for 6, 7, 8 seasons. I mean, even the ones that go on for like 3, 4, 5. Like, so there's some great series out there and shows out there. And I'd be thinking, dog, like the way that these people put these things together is super interesting to me. Like I would want, that's kind of, if we could do like one thing in our life that's like take your kid to work day type of vibe, it would be for me to be in a writer's room like midway through a season like that. For me, like episode 7 of like fucking, I don't know, what's my favorite series, like maybe like The Sopranos or even like Seinfeld or some shit,
but like
Curb Your Enthusiasm, just to be in the writing room with those shows.
Have you ever watched a series? Because now I'm thinking like, and this is the all the more respect I'm gonna give to the people in the writing rooms. Have you ever watched a series where you're like, yo, I don't even really like this show like that, but I keep coming back to just finish it? Have y'all like?
That's a good question. There's gotta be.
Like,
I know there's gotta be.
I didn't even like it, but I kept watching. Like I was like, I want to see
those like games, like Love Is Blind. And,
okay,
like,
word. So, all right, word.
Bro, you know what's funny about something like that?
I gotta find out. Like,
bro, you know what's but even that's storytelling in its own way. Like they kind of. They do these things in a way where you're like, I want to see what happens.
So would y'all say it's that?
It's like, I don't give a fuck. It's every reality show I've ever watched. Because usually, like, if I'm watching a reality show, it's usually because I'm with a chick that's watching a reality show. And that's what I'm saying. Like,
but you're like,
I'm like, oh, what happened? I'd be like, well, who's this guy again? Why? So what's their beef? I'd be asking for the rundown. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, get me up to speed to right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, why does this person feel that way about that person? Like, this should be kind of interesting.
It does.
So to answer your question, like, that's definitely like the whole reality genre is that for me. But there's got to be.
I don't need to watch it. Give me the.
I don't need to go back. I don't need to go back. Get me up to speed up to this point because this is kind of interesting. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, like, if I'm thinking, there's got to be, bro, because like things are in my head, but I just can't think of what. Do you have anything that comes to mind, Claude? Or even you, bro?
I think I know I got something in mind.
Other than realities.
There's like, to me, it's things like The Big Bang Theory, like sitcoms like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something like The Big Bang Theory. So there's definitely a demographic of people that are like, fuck that show. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like literally like, fuck that show. Like that's just corny. It's not funny, whatever. To me, I'm like, this show is funny enough to be called a funny show. And it won a bunch of Emmys. Like when it was like one of the most watched TV shows when it was like in its time, when it's in having its moment. You know what I mean? Yeah. But a show like that is a show that I can see on TV, maybe laugh, like actually bust out a laugh once throughout a whole 30-minute episode, but I'll watch the next one. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'll tell you a show that kind of gave me spoiled. Like, I was like, I'm glad I seen it through because it actually did get to a point where I was like, oh,
it got worth watching.
Succession.
Yeah.
Probably like one of them. Like, bro, the first season, I was like, yo, bro,
it lost me the first. I gave the whole first season a try, and I just didn't come back for season 2.
I didn't come back for probably a year or 2.
Yeah.
And then my boy was like, because we were raving about Billions, he was like, bro, you see Succession? I was like, yeah, I watched the first 4 episodes, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
nah, that's how I felt.
And I was like, at that point, I was like, bro, I'm open-minded. I gave it 4 episodes.
Right.
He said, bro, I promise you, watch that 5th.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm weak. Give it one more. Give it one more. So you only gave it 4, you gotta give it 5.
He's like, no, bro, trust me. I know what point you're at. You gotta just stay there.
Yeah.
And I did, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. I see where this is
kind of just took a turn and got a lot more interesting. I was like, oh, wow, okay. And I got to the first, and I was like, I'm ready. Like, and, you know, so. But then I have other episodes.
I don't know, with me,
True
like,
Blood was like that too for me
True
too.
Blood, yeah.
I'm big on like my dad, he's big on like comics and like Marvel, DC, whatever.
Okay.
So I try to like have that the one thing between us, you know what I mean? So I'm big on like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I guess the only show that I'm watching right now as far as not paying attention but paying attention is Loki. You know what I mean? Like,
I heard about this. Bro. This is with what's
Jonathan
the cousin? Jonathan Majors. I heard it's a really good show.
Nah, I mean right now, bro.
No spoilers. Just
Loki, the L-O-K-I, like L-O-K-I. Okay.
So I won't spoil it or anything like that, but like
he dies at the end.
Real quick, right?
He said spoiler. He dies at the end. Didn't even give people time to like. Said spoiler. He dies at the end.
It's crazy because like again, like just deep diving, like going on YouTube, going down the rabbit hole of like watching
these like theories. These
like,
I love these YouTube, fan films or whatever they're called.
Right.
There's this what's this group? Screen Crush and it's like something else. Long story short, on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay. And they deep dive on like Easter eggs and like hidden stuff that are in the show.
Yeah. I love
I've been
shit
like
like
watching
that.
it as the show goes through. And like, I don't know if you're big on Marvel, whatever it was.
Right.
If you watch the first Iron Man,
a lot of Easter
right,
eggs.
It had so many things that happened to the end of Endgame or whatever,
right?
Mhm.
They're all connected, and so that we're at that point right now with Loki, right? And so many things are connecting to like going up into like what's gonna happen and like what movies are coming out. X-Men's about to come out. You know what I mean? Like all these things are about to come out, and it's like being put into the show. I'm just like, damn, like.
Loki is a part of that realm.
That
Yeah,
universe,
that's
yeah.
like,
Oh, that's dope.
all of
That's
what's
dope.
about to happen
Oh,
is
that's
happening in Loki right now.
Oh, that's
So, like,
dope.
the whole timeline of what's happening
That's
for
dope.
the Marvel Cinematic Universe is happening because of Loki. So like Jonathan Majors is like the new big villain. You know what I mean? So he's like laying down the map of like what's about to happen like
Wow.
years from now. You know what I mean? So like this is like and like again, nobody watched it when they watched Iron Man and he first built the suit and he's like, yo, we need to build a suit of armor around the world. In the first couple of Iron Mans, he's saying that, you know what I mean? And it was like nobody wanted to believe it, and then cool, Thanos came, and it was like, oh my god, I love Endgame and Infinity War.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're like setting it up now.
They're low key trying to extend this friend for the next decades.
Yeah,
for the
basically,
decades to come,
yes.
we're trying to set this storyline for these new generations.
And that's what I be saying.
That's
like,
dope.
that's what I be saying. Like these motherfuckers in these writing rooms, like that's what you know what I'm saying? Like they're doing that now. Like I think about
keep all that in mind.
yeah.
We gotta
Like if we think about some, I mean, there's hella shows that I'm sure do this, but you know, something that I was hearing a lot about with Snowfall was like how there was like little things that happened in like season 1 that kind of played out in the last season. You know what I'm saying? And it's just interesting to think, damn, like motherfuckers really do be
plotting on it.
Yeah, but it's also too, I feel like sometimes because you never really know what a show's success is going to be. Like, who's to say that they got 7 seasons?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, or whatever the fuck it is. All of these shows, like, when you hear motherfuckers talk about the shows themselves, they be like, you know, we were just glad to get through season 1, like, lucky to get season 2, lucky to get season 3. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, damn, they're kind of setting up these things with the hope that they can play out, but also it's like that has to also be okay with ending right there too. Like it's also got to make sense in a way where if it were to kind of stop right here, it makes sense.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's kind of what's interesting to me about writing in Hollywood in general. I mean, just not Hollywood, but you know.
I mean, it's crazy because like
filmmaking.
I think maybe the writers strike just ended, and now there's an actor strike or something like that.
Right.
But it's just crazy, man, because like people are really like, you know what I mean, like those people make a difference. You know what I mean?
my
It's
God,
like,
they are
paid,
it.
bro.
They
You know what I mean?
are.
Oh yeah, bro, 100%, bro.
Get their
That's
money,
the
bro.
story.
Yeah,
That's where the story's derived.
I don't know too
Yeah.
much about what's going on involved with the strike, but like, bro, like,
Yeah,
like you said, bro, like sitting in the rooms of like people that are developing the things that we are like talking about.
Mhm.
I mean, they don't get, I mean, their recognition. In
Yeah.
that, you know what I mean?
You don't think so? You don't think
Nah,
writers
I
get
don't-
recognition?
that-
I mean, some of the
writers'
most
rooms?
popular, like,
I don't think so.
well, okay, maybe not the whole room, but
Yeah.
like, think about how many writers have like made humongous names for themselves. I mean, Lena Waithe,
but I feel like even Lena Waithe, like,
Seth Rogen, I mean, a lot of these motherfuckers is right. A lot of these people who are stars, like, started off as writers. You know what I'm saying?
but I feel like
That
those
is
are,
true,
but
yeah.
I feel like those are also too like the quote unquote like the superstar names. Not everybody in the Lena Waithe, but still doing like.
Yeah, but you can't pay,
Yeah.
can't pay every single writer like they're the top, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do that. You're gonna have every writer millions of dollars.
No, I'm not necessarily saying that, but I do think a lot of the residual from what they earn in terms of like guess what the overall project earns. I
Yeah.
do think sometimes the discrepancy is like damn, like
I don't
that
know,
shit-
man. I think I feel like this is the businessman in me talking, but I feel like it, you know, if I feel like writing is a job like you know,
anything
work
else.
like anything else, like working at a desk being an accountant is a job. Like it's a job, you know what I'm saying? And it's funny because even working with like writers there's been hella times when I've reached out to writers through like the gig economy for skits. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I'll literally will hire a writer off of like Upwork or Fiverr. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And even like those kind of people are like literally like writing is a job for them. They write for, you know, like a $25 script. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
something like that. So I say that to say that writing is a job. The people that are writing on these like Hollywood shows, they're getting paid to do that. And then it's the marketing folks or, you know, it's the business around the thing that actually makes it what we know it to be. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because some of the best writers could not have projects that we would ever see if they don't make it to Netflix, if they don't make it to HBO, like all this type of shit. You know what I mean?
No, it's funny you say that because like I feel that circles back to my answer of like why I do what I do now as far as revenue. Because like, cool, weddings, food photography, real estate, whatever, all great, and it makes me money, right? But like I don't want to go down the path of being like just a statistic on like set. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You're just like, I mean, that one
Yeah.
guy that does one thing where it's just like
You're not really valued for your creativity. You're
Yeah,
more
man,
valued
like-
for your hands. You know what I'm saying? Like you're literally just like a set of hands.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Put together like freaking this
Right.
big project.
Yeah.
Where it's like, again, that's why I want to learn the fundamentals of filmmaking, where the lighting, audio, or whatever it is that goes into it. Because like, cool, I want to stay in the lane of independent and work with other independents.
Mhm.
You know what I mean, so that we can create the project that we've dreamed of. You know what I mean, and then people get recognized from stuff like that. You know what I mean?
100%. Because
And yeah, man, I mean, like you said, like, cool, there are superstar names and no one's ever gonna be the top at all times. I mean, but it's just how can I go about it myself?
no,
Yeah.
and I feel like everybody like there's never a lack of ideas in the world, but the number significantly lessens when you're talking about, well, who's able and who
Yeah.
actually has the know-how to do things, right? Because it's like for instance, yourself, you talk about, you make sure that you can have all of these type of roles and you know exactly what all of these type of roles require. So if I need to be serviceable at any given time, at any one of these roles, I can offer that service as opposed to, for instance, you on the other other end of the spectrum, like, yo, this is it. Like all my eggs are in this one basket.
I'm the
So
light
now,
guy. Like,
now the tide, exactly, like the tide, you kind of just got to go with the tide, or
Yeah.
like you have to, also be like super business minded if you actually want to make this shit work, not just rely on I'm the greatest at this.
And
like,
you know what's
oh,
funny?
you know,
That's kind of why I brought up the superstar writers, because I'm saying like that's what they did to become that. So I'm more saying like if you think about somebody like Issa Rae, even, you know what I'm saying? Like she was a writer. You know what I'm saying? She turned herself. She turned herself into what she like the Issa Rae that we know. You know what I'm saying? But like you know, whatever step she took, whether that's like stepping out of the writer's room and like, I don't know her fucking but it's like she turned herself into somebody that's more than just a writer in a room. And that's kind of what I'm saying. Like if you're not gonna actively do that, then you're going to just get paid like a writer in a writer's room. You know what I'm saying? That was my point with like the whole But nah, I feel like as far as what's on TV now, all of that, there's so much shit out there. But as far as I want to know, when you're Claude, when you're watching I mean anything, what are some things that you're focusing on as far as what you want to implement in your own work?
Lighting.
I feel like we know that.
Like lighting, but like establishing a scene, right? Like just going into like, all right, you're watching the scene and it plays out, right? And it's the juxtapose or the next portion of the next scene. How is that established so that me, the audience, or the viewer, kind of like goes into what's gonna happen.
Like you don't lose us.
It's like I'm trying to like transition into what's going on next. You know what I mean? It's like, how do I go about that, or just kind of start that build up? You know what I mean? Because even at the beginning of a movie, there's always like an establishment of like how it's gonna play in. Whether it's like a crane shot or a wide, whatever. But
kind of like those transitional type shots, like going from one scene to another scene.
Boom, you know what I mean? And just kind of keeping again the continuity of like what's going on linearly in as far as this format of the show, the storytelling, whatever it is. And
what are some patterns you see in that, or what are some things that like you could say you took away? What are some patterns? What are some like things that you see that is typically done in those situations?
I guess like camera movement is a big thing on like telling your story. I mean, the way the camera moves, or like, however, it'll help with the emotion of things. I mean, like if the camera's like tracking with the shot, you can understand that we're like moving to like whatever it is. Going into like a scene, it's like, all right, we're transitioning into this. Like, all right, I see like horror movies or thriller movies, like when it's a haunted house, you'll see the camera push in on the house. And you're like, all right, we're about to enter the house. So it's like, how are those things played out, or like how is like the camera moving itself and there's no one in scene, and someone like jumps into scene, we're following somebody, and like we're doing a one take, and like how is all that like played out, choreographed as like far as like, all right, freaking person number one's across the screen, you know what I mean? It's like, all right, shake hands, and it's like all those things are like choreographed out, and I like want to learn like where's the lighting gonna be, like all these things, you know what I mean? So it's like,
how do you feel about like those, like you talk about it, like those one take sequences? I don't know if you've seen like any Inarritu films like Birdman or like 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 crazy. Obviously but for the viewer shot as if there's no cut.
It's crazy. Like,
crazy.
I mean, there's like behind the scenes on YouTube of like, there's like certain places where they cut it. Like, of course, they do like whip hands. Obviously. But it's like seamless, like you said.
But wouldn't you say that's the technique that you're using for your clones? Like is it kind of like so you just got to keep it going?
Pretty much. Like, in those instances of like with the cloning, it was like, I'm using like a motorized track, right? So it's like, it's on a stabilizer, or whatever. It's on a slider, and it rotates. You can just input the system of like where it needs to be, whatever. So I want to get to the point where I can cross my clones, you know what I mean? And like actually have them maybe touch or whatever. It's tough right now, but I want to get to that point. But yeah, man, I mean, again, you got to know timing. I mean, you got to know where like the camera is going to be at what position. So I was like, I can like interact with like this clone that's not even there. You know what I mean? But I got to like make it seem that like we're having this conversation. But like if I, you know what I mean? So I got to remember either the order that I'm going in, or like who's doing what at the time. You know what I mean? It's like, it's tough because like even when I did the one clone recently, I think it was like 6 or 7. I can't remember what it was, like 6 maybe clones. And I'm going around the table. And by the time I got to the 5th clone, I'm like, what did you do? I don't know what clone 2 was doing. You know what I mean? Like, you like fuck else. So it's like, you just got to go with those ideas. And like sometimes I don't even write it down. I'm just like fuck it.
Oh really?
Yeah, I'm just like,
that's crazy.
You're gonna be the angry clone. You're gonna be the sad clone. You know what I mean? It's like I bring out an emotion. And like sometimes like I'm trying to implement audio. like make it a full dialogue.
But that get different because I noticed you do have them volume all, and you'll be
Yeah.
like, nope, sound off.
I'm just like,
That's
because I
right.
tried before and like I was doing too much. I was like talking too much and like it was bleeding into the microphones and like it just sounded real raw. Maybe I could have clipped it all out but it was like 2 a.m. when I was doing it. I get so hyped. Like I'll do it at I'll shoot at 12 midnight. No one's up. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like I have to do it at night because like you got to control the light.
Yeah.
The day where the light like fucking sun's gonna be
Yeah.
You gotta wait, whatever. So I do it like at the middle of the night. No one's up. You know what I mean? I like freaking whatever. And then I'm like all hyped trying to like get everything together. 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, all tired.
All right.
And then, yeah, man, just all these problems come in, and you're just like, man, fuck it. You know what I mean?
Like I'm gonna work on what I have. Yeah, that's like,
bro. Like,
not facts.
Yeah,
facts.
and like, there are errors in it. Like, if you go back and look at it, there's like small errors, but like you gotta like really be like,
there are joints that only like you would notice, or
a
trained eye, or a trained
so
eye.
So it's like it's cool, and like I learned to like let go of my ego. You know what I mean? Like before, I'm like, oh, it's gotta be perfect. And it's gotta be coming out. And it's like. Now I'm just like, you know what, bro? Like,
y'all see the progress.
Yeah,
that's
it. You know when it's supposed to be really true and real, then I'll put.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
You know I mean?
Yeah, not facts. Then you can move on to the next one.
Show you what I do.
It's like you move on to the next one and apply what you learned from that mistake on the next joint.
So, yeah, man, that's just, I guess, just
that's lit,
trying to be in front and behind the camera right now, man.
Hell yeah.
Hear that, bro.
Brody.
Hey man, appreciate you coming through, bro. This has been an amazing conversation, bro. Real fun catching up and just talking about film, TV, and then even the aspect that we're all familiar with. It's crazy because like I always love like talking with you, bro, because me and Brooke are more like self-taught, like run of the mill, not run of the mill, but like, you know what I'm saying, like run and gun kind of like shooters. You always give us that like technical perspective, you know what I'm saying, and always you know what I'm saying, speak on the more technical aspects of it. That's why I always feel like every conversation we have and every shoot that we're on, it's like a learning experience with you, bro. So definitely appreciate you coming through.
No worries. Appreciate y'all, man, having me.
Yeah, for sure. Before we go, let people know, you know what I'm saying, where they can keep up with you and things like that.
Yeah, man. Look at the camera.
We was talking about that earlier.
So of course, man, you can follow me at I think Claude Rezel is my Instagram. Claude Rob TV is my website. Everything else, clauderobtv@gmail.com if you want to reach out to me business wise.
Yes, sir.
And Claude Rob TV on YouTube.
Yeah, if you got a wedding coming up, honestly, bro, I'm not even. This is not cap at all. Like I feel like you're probably one of the best wedding photographer, like videographers out here. Like if anybody, bro, the way it's because of the story. It's because of the storytelling of your shit, bro. Like you, like your shits be like documentaries, low key. You know what I'm saying? But also visually, and then also too, like I don't know if there's a difference between what we might see on Instagram and what like the couple might get, but your joints are super succinct, but definitely there's like a documentary aspect to it. We're like we're learning about the couple in a way, you know?
It's crazy because like I'm not gonna lie, every wedding now, like bro, people like love me by the end of the wedding. Like it's like I don't even know these people.
Bro.
Again, like I work with different companies that throw me at the weddings, right? So most of the times, maybe the week of, I'll find out all this information about the wedding.
Right.
And most of the times, like the name of the
and it's like you won't even know the bride of the groom.
I know nothing about it. I don't even know if they're black or white. Nothing. And going there open minded, you know what I mean? And like at the end of the day, bro, like everybody loves me. And I've taught and I've understand now if I'm giving out good energy, good presence, you know what I mean? I get a better result.
Big facts.
So it's like, bro, I go to people's event, I'm having the best time.
Yeah,
of my life,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm having a great time. You know what I mean? I'm getting the results that I need as far as production wise.
Right.
And again, it's helping me to tell that story. I mean, because people are more personable with me. They want to tell me things. They want to do things with me. So it helps me with that project. And then again, I literally sometimes spend all my time just on YouTube, just searching wedding videos.
Yeah.
Literally just watching.
Like inspiration wise.
Who's doing what? Top contenders. This guy like Ray Roman. I think he's like based in New York or something like that, whatever it is. But he just does international weddings, whatever it is. Bro, if you look at his work, bro, he's like top 3 shooters in the world.
Yeah.
For real. And like he's phenomenal. So I just sit there and literally just like watch his videos, bro. And like he just does everything. He like adds audio in. He does like sit down interviews. He does like just shots with kids, with different stuff that happens throughout the day. And then I'm just like, it just makes sense for me to document that because it's gonna help with the storytelling and like just everything that goes into that. And like you said, like you don't even know these people. You don't even know many or whatever about the wedding day, but like you can feel that emotion.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And it's like, damn, once people are telling me that as far as bride and grooms and like call me crying. Like I had this one bride call me literally crying. Like, and I'm like, oh,
So,
like,
thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, my bad. Like, I'm like, she's like, no, like you like did the right thing. And I'm like, oh shit, bro. Like this.
dope.
I can only
That's
imagine
dope.
how
That's what
like
it's
the
about.
couples actually be once they see them joints. Because like me not knowing them, just kind of seeing it on your page, you know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, this shit is phenomenal. And I know, like
dope.
in the weddings that I've shot, I know like, you know, these people get super emotional when they see it played back to them. You know what I'm saying? Because they're living it. Like they're living the wedding. When they actually see the wedding, like they see themselves, it's a whole, bruh. It's crazy. And put on top of the fact that it's literally probably the best day of their life. You know what I'm saying? Like
ideally, that is
two of my favorite days ever in life. The funnest days were both of my sister's weddings. And like I mean, other than the fact that it was my sister's, I had no like real tie to it. It wasn't my wedding day, but like I'm like, these are just fun ass times, fun ass events. And then when you watch it back, when you see like footage from it, it just kind of makes you relive that day, relive those moments.
I mean, again, like not even just to quickly speak on it, but like I had such a like weird outlook on weddings, you know what I mean? And like what it mean. I mean, cool. If I was to get married, I feel like I would do like an elopement. I mean, cool.
Yeah.
Just being
like you're not into the idea of like a big extravagant wedding.
Prior to, right? I wasn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm gonna get married to my lady, I'm gonna save the money, and all that
Yeah.
stuff. But like it just makes sense because like, all right, cool. If you have everyone that you love and that like loves you is like part of your village, part of the community, and you can get them there on one day, bro. It's just
a big vibe.
Like,
it's a big fucking vibe, man.
Thing.
Weddings are always like amazing.
Yeah, and
always.
It's like,
Always
I've seen some like crazy things, not like crazy, but just like you just like family. I mean, like and just things that like people like. I mean, I'm just big on like now, like that I'm like growing up and like getting older, just like big on like my parents, like my family, like people that are in my lives that like have helped me like be the person that I am today. So it's like I feel like those are like things I want to give back to, and like a wedding is a good thing because like you're showcasing to the world, to the people that are like around you, like, all right, I love y'all, you love me, so I want you to be here to celebrate this. You know what I mean? So it's like,
and then we all get to party together
exactly.
Like,
I mean, so it's like it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna have a wedding, but
that's real, bro.
Yeah, I'm here to shoot them.
You're gonna have to end up shooting your own wedding too, because ain't nobody better than you at this. But yeah, bro, again, appreciate you coming through.
Thank you.
And appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you haven't, subscribe to the channel and we'll see y'all next time.
Early.